So I just recently went and saw Batman vs. Superman. And what did I think of it?
Oh, darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
Ben? I agree.
The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel. Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
So yeah, this is honestly a hard nut for me to crack. I went into this movie after the astounding Rotten Tomatoes score of 29% came out, so to say that I was expecting the worst would probably be an understatement. Every aspect of the trailers just made it look like two angsty teens with too much time and power on their hands slapping each other in the face with their power.
Tell me, do you bleed?
The one thing I was not expecting, though, was Batman literally murdering everyone he sees. To answer the question of why Batman murders everybody, I went directly to Zack Snyder, the film's director.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder has a very different way of making his movies, but I'll let this guy explain it.
Film universe through his stunning effects and a very unique visual style that includes dynamic compositions and highly saturated colors that enhance his story.
yeah,
I don't mind that Zack Snyder. Seriously, I think he could be a great director of actors and knows how to make a scene look grand and epic. But here's lies the issue with that.
I want to know why you decided to allow Batman to kill within this picture.
you know, I tried to do it in that sort of technical way.
If it had been you that he'd beat to a bloody pulp, if he had taken you from this world, I would have done nothing but search the planet for this pathetic pile of evil death-worshipping garbage and send him off to hell.
You don't understand. I don't think you've ever understood.
Right. There's a great YouTube video that shows all the kills in the Christopher Nolan movies, even though like we would perceive them as movies where he doesn't kill anyone.
What? What, your moral code just won't allow for that? It's too hard to cross that line?
No! God Almighty, no! It'd be too damned easy.
I think there's like 42 potential kills
That's quite a lot
that
of kills.
the Batman does, and
All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him.
it includes also it goes back and includes even the Tim Burton Batman movies where this reputation as a guy that doesn't kill comes from.
But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
So, I have one rule. I tried to do it like by proxy. You'd shoot the car that they're in, the car would blow up, or the grenade would go off in the guy's hand, or whatever. Or you shoot the tank of the thing, and the guy pretty much lights his own tank with the thing. So,
Sir, give me your hand.
I can't.
Sort of
machine
manslaughter.
gun. What's that?
It's like manslaughter.
Yeah, a little more like manslaughter than actual murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Snyder isn't wrong when he says the Burton Batman murder-fied all the time. and many think of him as the definitive Batman. But why do we let him get away with stuff like this? Yet still think of him as the righteous crime-fighting detective. Well, there really isn't an answer to this, except when you really start to think about it. We get to see Batman's inner turmoil throughout the movie. Without saying a single word, we can see how he develops as a character. And when he does use expository dialogue, the viewer is able to get a glimpse into his mind.
I'm gonna kill you. You idiot! You made me, remember? You dropped me into that vat of chemicals. That wasn't easy to get over. Don't think that I didn't try. I know you did. I made you. You made me first.
Things slow down for a moment. You're able to see the man behind the mask. And for once, you have to use that brain thing to interpret what a scene actually means.
Well, come what may. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Alfred. Goodwill toward men. And women.
Do you bleed?
Well, enough of the hippie bullshit. We gotta move on to manly Superman!
One of the things I was always a bit kind of arm's length with in regards to Superman growing up was he was almost too perfect. He was almost. Is that something you've tried to turn on its head, try and show him as a flawed character?
Yeah, yeah, that's the knock always against Superman, that he's boring, right?
This isn't you. You don't do this.
I do now.
No! It doesn't have to be that way, Superman. You taught us that.
No, he taught you that he's no better than the rest of us. You all saw. Everyone on Earth saw what you did to us, and they know you're no better. There's nothing special about you.
Yes, they did see. They saw the ugliness of violence as a solution, and it frightened them. It frightened me too when I decided to cross that line and do what you do. It's so easy. Anger. Vengeance. Luckily, I'm not you. And I never will be.
The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Aquaman! Yeah! Okay, so I should probably talk about why this movie made a fuck ton of money and the reason you're probably still going to see it. Batman versus Superman. The fight lasts 5 minutes with two characters who have little motivation about actually hating each other. I won't spoil too much, but the reason Superman is fighting is beyond arbitrary and doesn't make any sense for his character. You empathize with Bat-Murderer the most, but he had figured out that he'd been manipulated into fighting a few scenes ago, so...
You cost me hours of work last night. Then I'll get right to it. You have to go back into retirement. You're upsetting too many people. Mm-hmm. Why do you always have to be like this? You played right into their hands last time. When the parents' groups and the subcommittees came after us, you're the one they pointed to. You act like a criminal.
We are criminals, Clark. We always have been. You're still one too. Only difference is you have a boss.
And you answer to no one.
The Bat is dead.
Bruce, be reasonable. You know what my orders are.
Your orders? You say you answer to some sort of authority. They only want me dead because I'm an embarrassment. Because I do what they can't. What kind of authority is that?
It doesn't matter. It's their world and they won't stand for you anymore. If it isn't me, it'll just be someone else.
Really? Who do they send after you? But I didn't have to go easy on you. A different binding agent, a stronger mix. I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Yeah,
Batman vs. Superman is not the worst film of all time. I'd even go as far to say it's a mild improvement over The Man of Steel. Did I hate it? No. Did I like it? Probably not. From the lack of motivation behind our main characters, the subplots that don't make any sense, inappropriate slow-mo, unnecessary scenes, it just feels like a mess. The movie needed more scenes like this.
There's one thing I gotta know. Why'd you stay with me all day, risking your butt for someone who's never given you anything but trouble?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
Nice guys like you shouldn't have bad days.
And less of this. More of this.
They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good. I have sent them you, my only son.
Less of... Oh god! Get her off the screen! Get away from it!
yeah,